we have an equalizer. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I think that the early game, we do have to see a tempo advantage. It's very similar to other assassin mid laners that you see, right? The Yone, for example, the Akali that has been played in mid recently. You know, the new changes we're seeing to that priority based on Chovy's performance last week. You do have to get ahead early with this. It's not that they can't recover and scale into the late game, but in terms of the team fights, you will see straight up 5v5 where, you know, we're seeing front-to-back team fighting and the setup that they have around objectives, I feel like definitely favors the side of KT Rolster. But if they get an early lead, like you said, if they can snowball this Nocturne pick, I think this composition absolutely could work. Very difficult to execute, but this is definitely something they've prepared.
Yeah, fun stuff right from the get-go. We're going to jump into game number 1 of Match 23 already.
We are getting closer as actually it's just hit now, the level 6 for Solka, which is the power spike where he actually starts to become really relevant around the map. He's not in a position to push for this top lane, but Pioshik's here.
Look at Pioshik trying to take the angle so he can't get hopped on. The sleep comes in, the flash over the wall. Meganar ready to go, but is it gonna matter? The damage is just too much, and Doran has no weight. And as you mentioned, as we both talked about, getting this early lead is so powerful. I mean, Pioshik's back. He's up 2 levels. Blank gets a level here, thankfully, on the Raptors. As here we go, trying to engage now, but immediately the Hecarim just disappears, and the roam will come in. The equalizer on top of both of them. UCal desperately trying to get something back, and he does get 1 kill, but that's now a double kill to the Nocturne mid.
Just gonna keep trading on the Doran. Like, Doran's not going back to lane. He might not be going back alive. He gets one opportunity.
Trying to make this trade happen with the Meganar. But I think he realizes right away, it's like, well, I can't get this going. He's going to bait in Kingen, though. Really nice bait, and I think Kingen went a little bit too far this time around. Gets punished.
They're going to go ahead and look for the fight around this. Blank is super late to the party. So this is actually a really tough fight for KT to take. They're going to need a really nice Emperor's Divide if they are going to go ahead and engage onto this. And they're just so slow to get here. As the Slay is already here for DRX, they got it down.
Yeah. Paranoia comes in. Will he commit this time, or is it just to get... Okay, he's going to go onto the Gnar. They're trying to blow up the Gnar here, but Mega Gnar pops immediately, but it just does not matter, as Becca is going to bring in 2 and pick off UCal as well. Really nice Emperor's Divide. The Samira gets her ultimate off with a ton of damage and has been able to turn this fight around. So props to Hybrid to making it happen.
He's at the back. He's not going to be, he's not actually, you know, at risk of being picked. And he can defensively set up for an Emperor's Divide if they dive in. Like, UCal's positioning here is so perfect. And they don't even commit. They can't. And this feels like the beginning of a really big advantage for KT Rolster.
Trying to jump onto the Lilia here. Doesn't seem like they have enough damage. Hybrid is going to get caught up on the top side. But the Lilia eventually does go down. Now 4-on-4, they're going to take out the set, but still a lot of damage remains here on the side of DRX. But look at UCal getting so much stun. He's going to dive onto the Rumble and take him down now. And you talked about this Jhin. Now he's all alone, quite literally, and he will be taken out with a triple kill going the way of UCal. But Pioshik smites the Scuttler, and so he can't even challenge. Okay, we're just going to full-on engage. That story will have to wait. They're trying to get into that backline here. Do they have the damage? They're getting a lot done, but perhaps not enough as they finally take out Hybrid. There's the equalizer, a lot of value, but UCal is now here, and he's got double buff, level 15. He will easily challenge King, and he's sitting in the flame. What BM is coming out from UCal? He's like, yeah, good job, buddy. You don't have enough damage. I've got a Mountain Drake now, too.
Feels like the missing link that we didn't really focus on in draft is the Jhin. He's just too slow for this composition. I'm really curious to see what his damage output's going to be in the post game, as Doran may have overextended a little bit here.
Well, he's got Blank to help him out. That's a 3-man ultimate. And you can see that Doran, with the Gore Drinker, he is very tanky. Solka is going to go down, and Doran's going to just barely go down at the end. But it was close. He got a lot of value. I mean, he's going to kill 3 members of DRX with his play, surviving for such a long time. Pioshik doing a little bit of surfing there. Gives the thumbs up, and that's going to be the end of that Lilia.
For me, I mean, the moment I thought it was over was when they won that Drake, or the Herald fight, you know? And then the Mountain Drake fight after that was like just the cherry on top for KT Rolster. I mean,
that you're going to have in these fights for DRX. We'll see if they can get on top of Hybrid. And Solka tries his best and immediately just has to back away.
Yeah, Hybrid actually just pulls him in further. He's like, yo, you're coming for me, I'm gonna dash deep, and you're actually gonna go the wrong side of the team fight. It can't be overstated how hard, like DRX's comp is like a knife trying to break through concrete. You know, it's very sharp, but with how hard KT is now, I mean, you're not gonna scratch him.
You're exactly right. There's not much they can do. Becca here is just going to get blown up. You see the damage difference now is heavily in favor of KT. Solka into the back line will try his best, and he does have a stopwatch, as he will eventually go down as well. So no more set, no more Nocturne, and KT will be able to take down this Baron and look to take the game from there at around 30 minutes.
Yeah, just going to take this, try to push down some inhibitors.
In, so good luck with that, getting any vision. They've used 2 blue trinkets now. And, well, this is going to be the Elder going the way of KT. They're going to try to snipe it here. It is not successful. There are methods to try to, you know, stop the waves from coming in. But Paranoia just going to be used to deny some vision. I think he ulted there onto Yukal. Yukal has almost more than full health after that one, so yeah. Probably even noticed it. Doran looking for the flash play here. Doesn't look like he'll be able to get it. Really nice Emperor's Divide into that fountain, as the Equalizer does get a lot of value, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be way too much here from KT, as the double kill will go the way of Hybrid.
Very stable. Showmaker is Showmaker, even though he's had some up and downs, but Yukal, I mean, this is a player people need to be talking about right now. Nearly 30,000 damage in this game. Top of the graph. Fantastic Azir play across the board.
Yeah, I mean, that's about 900 per minute, I would suppose. I mean, he's really up there in terms of damage per minute. A lot of the fights worked out pretty well for him after the team was able to stabilize, right? Because DRX are coming directly into the Azir. He can just kite. He can get multiple man.
DRX와
Welcome
KT의
back
경기로
everybody
오늘
to the
분석됐을
2021 LCK Spring Split analyst desk, and they will be joined by Subinyan, Bit3, and Gorilla, and this is season with the live translation. And we are kicking off with a matchup between DRX and KT roster. KT was able to pick up the Game1 victory. So coming into this new patch, we are seeing a lot new champions coming out, and we saw Nocturne coming out for the mid role. So I also remember seeing a very scary Nocturne coming out in the prior matches, but it was on the mid roll this time around. It's been almost 8 years or longer than 8 years since we saw Nocturne playing in the mid lane. Last time when Nocturne was played, it was actually a jungle Nocturne, and also we had Renekton on the top lane, and Nocturne also played in the mid lane was up against Twisted Fate. So we want to point out that Nocturne is always comped with other side lane champions, you know. They can also make a lot of combat happening in the side lanes utilizing their ultimates. So this time around, DRX was focusing on the Lilia, Nocturne, and Rumble comp, but KT actually went for a teamfight comp as an answer. Nar was not going for the side lane priorities. He was always grouping up with his teammates for especially the objective teamfights. And once again, we saw why Jin is so down on the tier list in the current patch. Well, we want to actually advise Senna could have been a better choice instead of Jin, because she can also boost up the power of Nocturne when he dives in with his ultimates. We had a fight that broke out in the jungle, and Soka was able to pick up 2 kills. But KT decided to get a pick on Lilia when her flash was down, but you know, DRX comp has a lot of tools to take the fight from far away, you know, Rumble and Nocturne. At that point of the time, well, KT thought that they can outnumber the opponents, but the follow-up from Nocturne was really strong, and then they were able to buy the time for Kingen to join the party as well. So DRX took this fight and turned it around, and Nocturne ended up getting 2 kills. This is not only acceleration for Nocturne's item build, but it also gave him some extra ultimate stack for his ultimate hunter stack. So this was a huge boost going over to Nocturne in order to exert more pressure around the map. However, there were some accidents happening around the top lane. As Nar finished his Merctress, actually he was able to hang on up against Rumble and Lilia, so DRX was not able to exert their pressure around the side lanes, and they started to lose their power. DRX was focusing on their mobility, and KT was playing around their teamfight power, so even though DRX was able to use their comp very well in the early game, they started to slip the lead towards the mid and late game. So let's take a look at this Dragon teamfight. KT was able to pick up that Dragon stack, and DRX Pump is meant to open fight from very long range to outnumber the enemy, but they were all grouped up and actually took the fight when Nar turned into a Mega Nar. Jin was not able to also participate in this team fight. He was just opening the curtains, but that was not enough for DRX to win this team fight. And KT, whereas they were happy enough to take this action because their comp is about team fights, grouping up as 5. They didn't get the Dragon, and Nar was having his Nar stack up. So DRX was not in the best position to open fight. Maybe they could just give away this tempo and kind of realize that KT was having the agenda for that fight, but they were being a little bit hasty for that team fight. And this is the first Dragon Soul going over to KT, and they were able to connect this to a game victory, and the POG will be Yukal on Azir.
일종의 좀 아지르 불신이 여전히 LCK 팬분들 사이에서는
I know a lot of fans are putting question marks about on this Azir pick here in the LCK, but today Azir found the perfect fit in this comp. KT was really quick completing that Hecarim and Azir comp in the mid and jungle, so they were able to actually a little bit alleviate the pressure coming out from the top side of DRX. So with this Hecarim pick together, this looks like a dive comp, but actually Yukal was also able to kind of shut down the gate coming in from the opponents. So looking at the game, Doran also was able to do a lot of work in the team fights as well, and Blank as well. He was able to come back after playing behind. And we can also hear that from the mic check in the end, where he said, well, I was really far behind, but thankfully my teammates played really well, so I was able to win this game. So props over to the KT players as a whole, and Yukal is now moving up towards second place in the POG ranking. And he picked up 4 votes out of 9 actually, so it was a very split vote between top, mid, and jungle. So we can just conclude that the top side of the KT roster was doing a lot of work in this game up against DRX in Game 1. Will KT road to pick up another win and close out the series? Because you'll never know, because DRX is really good at having 3-game series, so Game 2 holds the answer. I'll pass it back to our casters. Thank you.